All right, so you know some movie franchises just totally grab you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and for me, Final Destination is like right up there.
Oh, for sure.
It's like watching a morbid car crash.
Right.
You just can't look away. And the newest one, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Oh man, it looks so good. Like
Oh.
it's going to be suspenseful and thought-provoking.
Absolutely.
And you know what I think is really clever?
Yeah.
Is that they're like taking on this whole legacy admissions thing.
Right.
Because Final Destination has always been about cheating death, right?
Yeah, like defying fate.
Defying fate, exactly. And legacy admissions are kind of like that too, right?
Totally. It's about like trying to control destiny.
Yeah.
Passing on privilege and opportunity to like just your kids.
To your kids, exactly. Yeah, it's a really cool connection.
Yeah.
So, for anyone out there who maybe hasn't seen the Final Destination movies,
Yeah.
basically it's about a group of people who escape some kind of horrible accident, like a plane crash or a roller coaster derailment,
Uh-huh.
and they escape because one of them has a premonition.
The vision.
A vision.
Yeah.
But then death is like, nope, not so fast.
Not today.
Not today. And then they start dying off in these really creative and gruesome ways.
Yeah. And it's like the whole point is that you can't cheat death.
You can't escape your fate.
Right, exactly.
And it looks like Final Destination Bloodlines is following that same formula.
Yeah, from what I saw in the trailer, it starts with a college student.
Right.
And she has a premonition that her family is going to die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's where this whole legacy admissions angle comes in.
Right, because it sounds like her family is like really wrapped up in that world.
Exactly. And you know, horror movies, they often reflect like the anxieties
Of the time.
of the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And legacy admissions are a huge deal right now.
Oh, totally. It's like all over the news.
It's everywhere, you can't escape it.
Social media, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and people are like really debating about like, is it fair?
Yeah.
Is it just about privilege?
Right? Do you really deserve something just because of who your parents are?
Yeah. It's a big question.
It's a big question. And that's what I think is so cool about how Final Destination is like weaving that into the story. Because the whole series has always been about that tension between free will and fate.
Right. Like, can you actually outrun death, or is it already decided?
Yeah. Or is it all just like set in stone?
Exactly.
And now with Bloodlines, it feels like there's this extra layer. Like, can you outrun the destiny that your family, your bloodline has kind of set for you?
It's like you're not just fighting against fate itself.
Yeah.
You're also fighting against like the expectations and the path.
That your family has laid out for you.
Exactly. And I think that's a really interesting question.
Oh, it's super interesting.
Especially for a horror movie.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what's scarier than feeling trapped by forces beyond your control?
Right. And I think that's what they're going for with this movie.
Yeah. And speaking of scary, did you see those death scenes in the trailer?
Oh, my God.
I mean, classic Final Destination, right?
So gruesome.
Gruesome, but also like creative.
Oh, yeah. They always find these crazy ways.
To kill people off.
Right. And I think there was one with like piercings and chains and a ceiling fan.
I know. I was like, I don't even want to think about that.
I can't even imagine.
But the visuals, though.
Oh, they look amazing.
So intense.
Yeah. I think they're going for a really like visceral experience.
Totally.
With this one.
And I wonder if the visuals are like hinting at something deeper, too.
Oh, for sure.
Like with the piercings, you know?
Like a way to express yourself, your individuality.
Yeah, and then it becomes like a weapon.
Right. Or the chains, you know, representing like being trapped.
The confinement.
And then those things become part of someone's death.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's like the movie is visually showing you how it feels.
To be stuck on this predetermined path.
Yeah, trapped by your legacy.
Which can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Exactly. It's a blessing and a curse.
Right. And I also can't wait to see how they handle this whole reboot versus continuation thing.
Uh-huh.
Some fans are hoping for a totally fresh start.
A clean slate.
Yeah, and others are like diehard for the original storyline.
They want to see those connections.
Yeah.
And it's a tough choice. You know?
Yeah.
Because a reboot lets you do so much new stuff.
Yeah, you can reinvent the whole thing.
Bring in, like, current anxieties and themes.
Yeah.
But a continuation, you have to live up to those expectations.
The fans want to see those threads from the previous movies.
Right. But it can't feel forced. It has to be organic.
Yeah.
It's a tricky balance.
It is tricky. But you know what? Whatever they do.
Yeah.
I'm marking my calendar for May 16th.
Oh, same here.
I have a feeling Final Destination Bloodlines is going to deliver those thrills and chills.
For sure.
That we all love, but with like this extra layer of social commentary.
That will really make you think.
Exactly.
Yeah, and here's something to think about.
Okay.
So if legacy admissions are like trying to cheat the system, to kind of like manipulate fate in a way,
Uh-huh.
How does that fit into the whole Final Destination theme of death being, like, totally unavoidable?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, can you really escape your destiny even if it's one that's been, like, handed down to you?
Whoa.
That's the question.
That's a good one to ponder.
It makes you think.
It really does.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Me too. May 16th can't come soon enough.
I know, right?
All right.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Final Destination Bloodlines.
Later.
See you next time.